it looks like we might be getting one of the biggest fights in UFC history. It seems as though Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is official, okay? We don't have a date, we don't have a location, but it seems that it is agreed. Chael Sonnen on Good Guy and the Bad Guy said that it is an agreed fight.
Fight is done, though.
What the hell?
That fight is agreed all the way down to the date. That I do have a confidence to tell you. Jones said he needs 4 months. Now you're going to do it. I'm telling you, this Jon Jones business, Jones will say a lot of things to the media. When he gets that phone call, here's the guy you're fighting. Do you understand? Yes. And that is what he will say. All the other reports are not true. Jon has come out. He's been a troll. He's had some fun. He even tried to negotiate in the media. Privately, he takes that phone call. It's yes or anything else that comes out of his mouth. Any answer that's not yes is not yes. But that did not happen. That is a false report. Jon Jones has not ducked this fight. I wish he did. I'd love to bury him. He didn't. He did not duck Tom Aspinall.
Now, as most of us know, Chael Sonnen is very much a trust me bro type of source. There's not a whole lot to trust in Chael Sonnen breaking news or even making fight predictions. We know how it is with Chael. But the reason he may actually be telling the truth about this fight is this video from Tom Aspinall right here.
But yeah, feeling good, back in the gym. And I know everyone wants fight news. But I do know what's happening. I have had meetings with the UFC, as we know. I have been sworn to secrecy for a little bit. So stay tuned, stay up with the channels, stay up with the UFC channels, of course, as always, as you guys always do. But there will be news coming, hopefully, very, very soon. But if you're going to ask me, I can't give the answer right now, but stay tuned. It's coming.
So there we have it. Tom Aspinall says he has fight news, and it seems as though it's going to be Jon Jones. It's actually looking more and more likely that it's going to be Jon Jones because there hasn't been any other talk of vacating Jones's title, stripping Jones and doing a Ciryl Gane fight or anything like that, especially with Alex Pereira losing at UFC 313. The Alex Pereira-Jon Jones fight is completely off the table. If Pereira would have won at UFC 313 against Magomed Ankalaev, we probably would be seeing a vacated heavyweight championship. Jon Jones and Alex Pereira fighting in a non-title pay-per-view main event super fight, and then Aspinall being promoted to undisputed champ or having to fight for the vacant belt against like a Ciryl Gane or somebody like that. But it looks like Jones versus Aspinall is going to happen. We don't know when. I mean, I think I know when, and we'll talk about that in a second. But it's interesting to see Chael on one hand, who is very plugged in with the UFC, very plugged in. Him and Daniel Cormier are getting some of the most direct information from the UFC in terms of what's coming up next. We have Chael kind of and DC saying that Jon Jones is saying yes. So Jon Jones is going to make the fight happen. But we also have Ariel Helwani, another very plugged in member of the media in this sport, saying that if this fight does not happen, it's Jon's fault.
If this fight doesn't come to fruition, if for whatever reason it falls apart and we never get to see Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, the UFC is not to blame. The UFC has, in my opinion, well, excuse me, I'll take that back. The UFC has, based on the conversations that I've had, not in my opinion, but what I'm reading and surmising and what's being told to me is they have made every effort in very good faith to make this fight happen. Now, obviously, when fights don't come to fruition, there's a multitude of reasons as to why fights don't happen. But in my opinion, if this fight doesn't happen, it's not because of the UFC. It's not because of Tom Aspinall as well. I think ultimately who will decide whether or not this fight happens or not is Jon Jones. Now, that's not some big breaking news, but I say that to say, yes, if Jon wants the fight to happen today, and I don't mean like the fight to actually be fought today, but like done deal today, it could be a done deal today. It's up to him, and it's always been up to him. Now, for a while, you could have said, all right, they have to meet whatever number, right? That 30 million was thrown out. Whatever that number is, Rogan walked it back. I had heard the same number, whatever. Point is, I believe that the UFC has met all the demands.
Well,
in a very favorable way for both guys. They both have demands. We know what Tom wants to a degree, and we know what Jon wants to a degree. I think ultimately it's on him. Now, we don't need to get into the whole, like, at what point do they need to pull the plug on this, and when's the deadline? We've done that song and dance a bunch of times, and I'm kind of tired of it. Like, they'll do it when they need to do it. They'll do it when they want to do it. They'll do it when they need Tom to fight. If Jon isn't going to be that guy. But I think at this point, there are some people who want to say, hey, the UFC didn't make Jones versus Ngannou. The UFC didn't make this big fight. The UFC didn't make that big fight. When the story is written on this fight, if it doesn't come to fruition, I don't think it will be on the UFC. I really think the UFC, based on what I'm hearing and have been told, I really think the UFC has done everything that they could to make it happen. Is the fight a done deal as of right now? No. It's not a done deal as of right now. So I don't know what he's hearing. Could it be a done deal as of today at some point? Could it be a done deal in 30 minutes? Yes. But is it a done deal as of earlier today when I was doing some digging? No.
So we have Ariel saying the fight is not made. We have Chael saying that the fight is agreed to with a date, and Tom Aspinall saying that he knows what's happening. Deep down, I think that the fight is made. And the reason it's not announced yet is it's not happening anytime soon. I think that Jones versus Aspinall is going to happen at UFC 320, 321, 322, depending on where the fights lay out and where they book pay-per-views. But I am very convinced that Jones versus Aspinall is going to happen in November at Madison Square Garden, if it happens at all. I don't know if the fight is totally agreed to, like signed, but I think we probably have verbal agreements from both parties for UFC 321 in Madison Square Garden. I think part of this is that Jon Jones wants Tom Aspinall as ring rusty as possible leading into this fight, because by the time that fight happens, if it happens in November at Madison Square Garden, it will have been an entire calendar year since Jon Jones fought, and it'll have been a year and 4 or 5 months since Tom Aspinall fought. So one, both of them out for a long time, but also Aspinall being much more ring rusty than Jon Jones. So on top of the ring rust, the mental games, and the anxiety of waiting for this big fight for Tom Aspinall, I think it's a lot of mind games being played by Jon Jones, but I still think we're going to get the fight. So that's my prediction, is that we are going to get Jones Aspinall 321 Madison Square Garden, November of this year. Jon's going to retire after the fight if he wins. If he loses, I could see him being like, nope, we got to run that back. I need that one back. But that's what I'm thinking. Jones Aspinall, Madison Square Garden, November. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you like this video? Then like and subscribe down below. I also do multiple live streams per week, along with behind the scenes content and members only live streams for our channel members. So become a channel member for access to bonus content. It's only $5 per month, and it greatly helps the channel's growth. I also do a podcast with my best friend Bo, and I have a non-MMA channel as well called Wyatt's World. You can check both of those out, linked below.